All right. All right. All right. I think we are live. Just going to refresh the group here. I'm going live on YouTube and I'm going live in the group. There'll be a link to the group on the YouTube comments once I'm done. Once I'm done streaming this, there we are in the group, guys and girls. Welcome to an episode of, I don't know what I'm going to call this, but this is where I'm going to go through a couple sites here that people have sent over for audits. I've got a huge backup of people, and I'm working through trying to get about 4 to 5 a day of audits, going through basically where I take a look at your site. I take a look at your Google business listing. I give you some tips based on what I see, based on what we've seen work really well for clients, based on what clients have done on the ground. Just give some tips in general. Try and make it really personalized to your brand, to what you've already got there, what you've got going, and give you some tips that you can take action on and see some results. So we're going to go through a couple of websites this morning. One of them does not have a Google business listing. I've reached out and given him, our video on how to set up a Google business listing. If you do not have a Google business listing, you've got to get that set up. But let's dive in here today. So let me get this on here. And I'm going to take a look through this site here, Helpful Hauler, and give some tips specific to them. But also, since you guys are watching, I'm going to give some general tips around things that I see on a lot of different sites and things that you should be taking note of. If you're watching the replay, drop any questions you have down below. I'll jump in and I'll answer those questions for you too. So when we're looking at a website, when I'm looking at a website, when I'm looking at how I can add some value here, I'm basically looking through and seeing how well do you tell Google what you do, where you do it, how you do it, how well do you make it, or how easy do you make it for people to reach out to you as soon as they land on your site, and how can you improve all of that ultimately to get more jobs. You want your site to show up in the local area. You want your Google business listing to show up. You want people, when they find you online, to be able to reach out really easily, really low friction, and get in touch with you. Okay, so here on Helpful Hauler, we've got a hero section. We've got some videos and whatnot, some reviews here, and then this is a pretty simple site here. So this will be a good example. I'm just seeing one page here. So this is a good example of what I see a lot of people when they get going. They're like, hey, I can just put something up there. And there's nothing wrong with just putting a single page site up, but Google doesn't rank websites. Google ranks pages. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that if you look at our site here and a lot of our client sites, we build out service pages for every single service that we provide because Google ranks pages, right? So for example, if we look up like shed demolition, here we've got our Google listing, we've got our shed teardown page, we've got our main homepage ranking here. We've got a bunch of videos. That's a strategy I'll talk a little bit about here. But basically, we're looking to dominate the homepage, right, with our specific service page to that to that search term, right? So a tip here that I would have is, as you grow this out, keep building out service pages. Another thing here is you want to make this really obvious that this is a clickable button here for people to call. And you also want a contact. I like to put this as a button that people can click on. And I like to put it as well under here, another button for, reach out for a quote as well that links over to your contact form. I actually don't see a contact form on here. So you're missing out on probably quite a lot of jobs by not having a contact form on here, because not everybody is going to want to call or text. Some people want to leave a quote. Some people want to, leave a quote request, and some people, definitely do not want to call. So most people will want to text, but some people are just kind of programmed to enter in their info on a website. So you want to have all those options available to people. And then as you go down through here, you want to write more about who you are, where you serve. So when it comes to, your title tag, junk and waste removal and demolition services in Anaheim, you want to kind of have that throughout here. You want to talk about the different services that you offer. I don't even really know what services you do offer. I know obviously that junk removal has a lot of different services inside of it, but if you don't really specifically tell that on your website, then when I come to your website, I don't know, and also Google doesn't know. So you've got to list out all the different services here. Love that you got some reviews on here. I'll go over to your listing here in a second, but you can bring those reviews onto your site as well. And then, like I said, a contact form, building out service pages for all the pages that you, or all the services that you offer, as well as even pages around the different areas that you service. This is good that you've got this linked up here. Link this to your business listing as well. That's going to help kind of connect it, and then build out a YouTube channel as well. Start showing off jobs that you're doing. So if we go to your listing here, got some reviews. So you've got 10 reviews here. You can start showing those off on your website. Now, when you get reviews, you want to reply to them right away. You want to reply to them, and you can reply with what you did and where you did it. So, really appreciate you coming out to, what did they say here? So they're excited. So Michelle, really appreciate you having us out to your spot in Anaheim to do it looks like a yard debris cleanup and some random junk. It was a pleasure serving you. Look forward to serving you in the future. Debbie, really appreciate you having us out to your spot in XYZ. It was great serving you, etc. So you're talking about what you did. You're talking about where you did it. When it comes to your pictures here, you can put in a bunch more pictures here. I would continually upload pictures, and I would rename those picture files before you upload them to talk about what you're doing and where you're doing it. So old barbecue removal in Anaheim, hoarder cleanout in XYZ, yard debris and old appliance removal in XYZ location. So rename those pictures before you put them up, and that can help a lot. Reply to your reviews, like I said. Get people to ask questions on here, like, hey, do you do hoarder cleanouts? Do you do this, that, and the other thing? And do you take appliances? Do you take do you come in and clean out a whole garage? All these questions, and then you can also get people to ask them with a location attached. So I've got a storage unit in Anaheim. Do you guys clean those out? And you can answer, yes, we do, etc., etc. So locally owned trash removal. I put junk removal in there, light demo, and then I would talk about the different areas that you service. You want to, everywhere that Google gives you opportunity to talk about what you do and where you do it, you want to use that space and really make that full of the different things that you do. So use all the characters here that you're provided, and then you also want to be doing regular updates as well. Now, I've done a little heat map here, so I think because there's some work to be done. It's anything that's over 20, it really isn't showing up. But basically what this is every spot that the circle is in, it's doing a search for, in this case, the term junk removal. And you can kind of see there's some work to be done, and there's some opportunity for growth here too. Pretty competitive area, but you want to, start focusing in on right around where your Google business listing is located, and then start circling out from there, putting pictures up that are renamed with those locations. So let's say we're trying to rank in Fullerton. We'd start, getting people to ask questions around Fullerton, replying to reviews that are in Fullerton, putting up pictures that are talking about Fullerton, etc. Okay. If any of you are watching want one of these things, one of these heat maps, I can pull a heat map like this looking at a specific search term in a specific area, and you can get a good idea of, hey, I'm ranking really well over here, for example, but it's really not, coming through on other ones. Here's one that I just did as well. 2 tigers in a truck. So I was just doing this earlier, but you can see they're ranking really well in this particular area. But they want to be hitting some of these other areas. So we're walking through some different techniques that they can do to, turn that 5 into a 3 and eventually into a 1. Start moving up on some of these others, so that you start getting more and more exposure on your listing. Get your services all filled out in the back end too, and just build that out. I love that you've got Yelp filled out here. That's phenomenal. Yelp, especially in California, is extremely useful. I would recommend it everywhere, to set up your Yelp listing and then talk about all the services that you offer, put all your pictures on here, get reviews on there. Get a free account, don't pay for it, but it's going to be a very useful thing for your business to have that exposure. Yelp is a powerful website. If you can start to rank it on Yelp, that's another place that people can see your brand, potentially reach out and request a quote, and really, make things happen that way. So to recap on this one, more content, more optimization for the actual area that you service, more service pages, more pictures and video talking about all the services that you offer, and just ultimately filling this website out. Get a contact form, make it easier for people to reach out. And then we went through the Google business listing. So we're going to switch to Blue Crew junk removal now. And on this one, we're going to go through a lot of the same stuff here. The one thing to notice on this site is it is built on Wix. So Wix is a lot harder to rank long term. You can get Wix websites to rank. I'd be silly to say you can't, but it's going to be harder. Typically, if we're working with a client on SEO, we're going to say, hey, it's going to be in your best interest for us to rebuild the site. And we'll do it at cost if someone's jumping on for SEO. But to work on a Wix site, we've just found that we can do the same amount of work that works on another builder like WordPress or Duda, and it just doesn't move. So you're basically spending money with us and not seeing any results. So that being said, you can get Wix sites to show up, but it's going to be a lot easier if you use a builder like Duda or WordPress. Okay, so that's the first thing here. Love the call now button. This is good. I would probably work on the hero section a little bit. Looks like this is an image, so I would use like some sort of an image that doesn't have text on it, and then you can put text on here that says, best junk removal in Sacramento, or the specific location that you want to be serving. This is kind of cool. The inquiry, I think, yeah, it just goes to a contact page and contact form. Talks about all the stuff that you do. Got some testimonials. Once again, it comes down to more content. We want to see more content on the page. Title tag here optimized a little bit better for Sacramento. An H tag, right here, best junk removal and demolition, or garbage removal in Sacramento. And then again, we want to have pages about them. So we've got an about us page. Got some services listed here. But I would once again list, eventually build out service pages for every single one of these. So furniture removal, appliance removal, spa and hot tub, etc. Because you're going to be able to have a lot better chance of ranking that particular page than just a website that ranks for everything. You want to be ranking specific pages, like I said earlier. So that's the big thing here. And then this one as well, we want to get a Google listing up right away. I've sent this fellow a video on how to do that. But ultimately, guys, it comes down to a few things. There's some very common things that I see. It's content on the site, service pages, really getting some personalized content, good pictures. You want to stand out from your competition, both for Google and for the clients that are coming to visit you and see what you do. So you want to kind of work through all of those things and put some effort into this, guys. This is a 24/7 salesperson for you, and it's a lot cheaper to pay than an employee. So hope this has been helpful. If you guys need help with building a website, with doing your SEO, with getting an audit or me to kind of do a look over like this, doesn't have to be live. Most of them aren't live just because I'm doing them at all hours of the day around everything else that I've got going on. Reach out. I'd love to help. We'd love to help. This is what we do. We love junk removal. We love the service industries. We love doing websites, SEO, Google Ads. Any questions on those, shoot us a message and we'd be happy to help. All right. Have a great Thursday. Talk soon.